Hi everyone, this is Tammy, owner of Worthyworthitpriceless, and today's podcast is titled You Mean That Much to Him. So a few days ago, I was giving my daughter some frozen strawberries. She loves frozen strawberries, and she had like her hands full, and one of them fell on the floor. So my daughter drops every single strawberry in her hand to grab the one that fell on the floor. And I'm like, yo, listen. In my mind, I'm like, you just dropped every strawberry just to pick up the one that was on the floor that was going to be thrown away anyway. And I know she didn't even understand what I was saying, but it was just the logic behind it. But it reminded me of what God will do for us. The world may look at us as if we're nothing, we're beneath, we're trash, just like the one that was on the floor. But to God, the one that's on the floor is his everything. You don't lose value, you don't lose worth because the world deems you unvaluable or unworthy or worthless. That's not how God views you. And God will stop everything or drop everything like my daughter did just for that one that's on the floor. It doesn't matter if you have turned away from God, if you feel as though you have done too much for God to be there for you. He's always there for you. He's never going to leave you nor forsake you. God will stop and drop everything for you. I have examples in my own life. It was 2 times actually in church that I remember, is probably more, but there was 2 times specifically that God did that for me while we were in church. So one time, this was September 11th, 2011, and I was in church. And the end of, the church service, this, that, and the third, everybody sat down or whatever. But my pastor was like, he was like something or someone was pulling on him. And he was like, one of you guys, the devil has been lying to you and saying lies to you and this, that, and the third. And now I'm the only one standing up in church, but I'm like, I'm not going up there. Like, I knew he was talking to me or whatever. And it was like one of those things we had to go up to the church and all that stuff. But I was like, I'm not going up there. And I was like, and it was so funny because I was like having a whole fight with myself. And he was like, yeah, somebody out there, the devil's been lying to you and this, that, and the third. And it's like, I knew he was talking about me. Like, and there was like this fire, like, in my body, and like I knew he was talking about me, but I'm like, yo, I'm fighting with myself. I'm like, I'm not going up here. And like I was hoping and wishing that my pastor would pass this whole thing because it was like the end of church and stuff. And I'm like, yo, listen, like I'm not going up there. And I started having this fight with myself. Anyway, long story short, I ended up going up there and getting prayed over. And the thing was, it was everything that I was going through, God was telling my pastor, and he told me. And then there was another time that it was a pastor or prophet from like a different, it was like his first time there. So anyway, I was standing up, same thing, standing up, praying or, praising God and everything. I had my daughter in my hands. And so, like, my eyes were closed, all this stuff. And the next thing I know, I hear the prophet or pastor or whatever. He was like, get her, the girl in the green shirt. And I had, like, a black shirt on. He was like, get the girl in the black shirt. Somebody take her child and run her up here. And once again, at that time, he was telling me everything about my life and and how God was going to change my life and everything like that. So I know it was like a little weird, but the thing about it is God stopped services for me. He stopped church services for me to get a word to me, or at least, especially like the first one would just basically tell me that the enemy was lying to me and all of this and this other stuff. And that's the thing. God will stop everything and drop everything for you. It's often said in the Bible, or it's said in the Bible, that God will leave the 99 for the one. And it doesn't matter how low you are or how low you feel. God loves you and he will always be there for you. And it's often said too, it's somewhere in the Bible, forgive me, but it is that God uses what the world deems useless. That's what I'm trying to say. Now, not saying that you're useless, but a lot of times once the world is done with you, and I know this for example, or all of that. Once the world is done with you, that's it. They don't really care. Like, the world does not care. Once they deem you as useless or they can't use you up anymore or anything, they will drop you wherever you land and leave you right there. And now what the world seems like useless, just like with that one strawberry that fell out on the floor. Once that's over, what happens? You put it in the trash. But to God, you're not trash, ever. He loves you. He cares about you. Everything that you are, God put that on the inside of you. You're never trash to him. You are his masterpiece. You are special. No matter what anybody else has said to you, God can and will use you if you will allow him to. Your life isn't over. You're going to make it just fine. It doesn't matter what happened in the past. It doesn't matter what anyone has ever said about you. You're going to make it a lot further than you ever imagined. But you have to take that first step. Realize that you are not trash, you're not worthless, you're not useless, you're not what anybody has ever said about you in the past. You're God's special masterpiece. So walk in that and walk in confidence with that, knowing that you are special. Always know that you have worth, you have value, and you're going to make it. And you are worthy, worth it, and priceless. And until next time, thank you so much for your support. Thank you for listening to this podcast. And have a great day. Love you guys. Until next time. Bye.